Capricorn, there is something moving toward you right now that you cannot see yet. And once you understand what it is, you will realize the universe has been protecting it for you this entire time. Today is July 22nd, and the energy surrounding you is unlike anything you felt in months. Something has shifted, something quiet, something powerful, something that has been building behind the scenes while you were busy simply trying to survive the day. Stay with me until the very end, Capricorn, because the final message in this video may be the most important spiritual guidance you receive all year. 1. Why everything felt delayed until now. Capricorn, let's be honest with each other for a moment. There have been seasons, maybe recently, maybe stretching back further than you'd like to admit, where it felt like you were doing everything right, and still, nothing moved. You worked, you waited, you showed up for people who didn't always show up for you. You held yourself together when it would have been so much easier to fall apart. And through all of it, a quiet question kept surfacing in the back of your mind. Why does everything take so long for me? I want you to hear this clearly, because it matters more than almost anything else I'll say today. Those delays were never a punishment. They were never proof that you weren't good enough, weren't working hard enough, weren't deserving enough. You are a sign ruled by Saturn, the planet of time, structure, and mastery. And Saturn does not rush what it intends to make permanent. Saturn builds slowly, because Saturn builds things that last. Think about the moments over these past weeks or months when a door seemed to close right in front of you. A job that didn't come through. A relationship that didn't unfold the way you hoped. A plan that fell apart at the last possible second, leaving you wondering what you did wrong. Capricorn, none of that was wasted. Every single one of those closed doors was quietly redirecting your energy, your timing, and your path towards something your current self couldn't yet recognize as a gift. There's a kind of exhaustion that comes from being the responsible one, the dependable one, the one who holds everything together, while rarely receiving the same steadiness in return. If that exhaustion has been sitting on your chest lately, I want you to know that it has been seen. Not by the people around you necessarily, but by something larger. By the quiet architecture of timing that has been rearranging itself around your life without asking your permission, because it already knew what you needed before you did. This is the part that so many people miss about delay. We assume that if something is slow, it must be wrong. We assume that if the universe truly supported us, everything would arrive on schedule, wrapped neatly, exactly when we asked for it. But that isn't how growth works, and it certainly isn't how your growth has worked, Capricorn. Every year you've spent quietly building, every skill you sharpened in private, every version of yourself you outgrew, every boundary you finally learned to hold, was laying a foundation. And foundations, by their very nature, are invisible until the structure built upon them finally rises high enough for everyone to see. You have been in a season of invisible construction. That is why it felt delayed, not because nothing was happening, but because everything was happening beneath the surface, in the parts of your life and your spirit that don't announce themselves until they're ready. And here is what makes today, July 22nd, so different from the days that came before it. The waiting is beginning to end. Not dramatically, not with fireworks, but quietly, the way most real transformation happens. A shift in the wind before you ever see the storm clouds change direction. So if you felt tired lately, if you felt like you were pouring effort into a void and receiving nothing back, if you've caught yourself wondering whether your patience was actually working against you, I need you to release that fear right now. Your patience was never wasted. It was the price of admission for something you are about to understand was worth every single day of the wait. Because Capricorn, something has been moving toward you, and it's closer than you think. 2. The hidden blessing is already moving toward you right now in this exact moment. There is a shift taking place that has nothing to do with luck, and everything to do with timing finally catching up to your preparation. I want you to picture it like this. Somewhere beyond what your eyes can currently see. Doors that have been sealed shut for what felt like an eternity are beginning to loosen on their hinges. Not because you forced them. Not because you begged the universe to open them faster. But because the season of resistance you were living through has finally run its course, and what comes after resistance is always release. This blessing that is approaching you, Capricorn, has been in motion longer than you realize. It didn't appear out of nowhere today. It has been quietly assembling itself, piece by piece, person by person, circumstance by circumstance, for weeks, maybe even months. The people who will play a role in this next chapter of your life may already be in motion toward you right now, even if you haven't met them yet, or even if you've already met them and don't yet realize the significance of that connection. This is how divine timing actually works. It rarely announces itself in advance. It moves silently, behind the scenes, rearranging circumstances so that when the moment finally arrives, it feels less like a coincidence and more like something that was always meant to happen exactly this way. Let's talk about what this might look like taking shape in your actual life, because I don't want this to stay abstract for you. For some of you, Capricorn, this hidden blessing is financial. Not necessarily a windfall, not necessarily something dramatic, but a genuine shift in the pressure you've been carrying around money. An opportunity that opens a door you didn't know existed. A conversation about your work, your worth, or your value that finally moves in your favor. Money has a way of following energy, and your energy, after all this quiet building, is finally aligning with abundance instead of survival. For others, this blessing is relational. Maybe it's a healing that's been a long time coming. A reconciliation with someone you never expected to speak to again. Or a repair in a relationship that has felt fractured for far too long. Maybe it's the arrival of someone entirely new. Someone whose presence in your life will feel less like meeting a stranger and more like finally recognizing someone you were always going to know. For others still, this blessing is deeply personal, an internal transformation that will ripple outward into every part of your life. A release of anxiety that has quietly gripped you for longer than you'd like to admit. A return of motivation you thought you'd lost permanently. A sense of clarity that finally lets you see your own path without the fog of doubt clouding every step. Whatever form it takes for you specifically, Capricorn, understand this. It is not arriving by accident. It is arriving because you have been preparing for it, whether you realized it or not. Every hard conversation you had with yourself, every moment you chose growth over comfort, every time you kept moving forward even when nothing around you gave you a reason to believe it would matter. That was you building the very foundation this blessing needs in order to land safely in your life. There's a reason Saturn is often misunderstood. People fear it because they associate it with limitation, with hardship, with the heaviness of responsibility. But Saturn's true gift is mastery. Saturn doesn't hand you things you're not ready for. Saturn waits until you are unshakable, and then it delivers exactly what you've earned, in a form that will actually last. And Capricorn, you are becoming unshakable. Can you feel it? That quiet steadiness underneath the surface, even on the days that still feel hard. That is not an accident. That is preparation. That is the universe reinforcing your foundation, because it knows what's coming, even if you don't yet. So even though you cannot see this blessing with your physical eyes right now, I want you to trust that its movement is real. Somewhere right now a piece of this puzzle is falling into place on your behalf, and soon, very soon, you're going to start noticing the signs that confirm it. 3. The signs you are about to receive it. Blessings rarely arrive without warning. Before they fully manifest, they send signals, quiet whispers meant to prepare your heart and your mind for what's coming. And Capricorn, if you pay close attention to your recent days, I believe you'll recognize several of these signs already unfolding in your life. The first sign is repeating numbers. If you've recently found yourself glancing at the clock at the exact same time, 11:11, 3:33, 2:22, or noticing the same sequence of numbers appear on receipts, license plates, or phone notifications, this is not coincidence. In the spiritual language of the universe, Repeating numbers act as gentle confirmations that you are on the correct path. That alignment is happening even when circumstances feel uncertain. The second sign is unusual dreams. Have your dreams felt more vivid lately? More symbolic, more emotional, perhaps even more prophetic than usual? When a blessing is approaching, your subconscious often begins processing it before your conscious mind catches up. You might dream of water, which often represents emotional release and cleansing. You might dream of doors opening, of finding something you'd lost, of reuniting with people from your past. Pay attention to these dreams, Capricorn. They are not random. They are your inner self, preparing you for what's ahead. The third sign is an unexpected sense of peace replacing anxiety. This one is subtle but so important. Maybe you've noticed that a worry that used to consume your thoughts doesn't feel quite as heavy anymore. Maybe you've caught yourself breathing a little easier, sleeping a little more soundly, feeling a calm settle over you that you can't fully explain given your circumstances. That peace is not naive. It is not denial. It is your spirit recognizing, on a level deeper than logic, that relief is close. The fourth sign is unexpected conversations. Has someone reached out to you recently out of nowhere? An old friend, a distant family member, a former co-worker? Has a stranger said something to you that stuck with you far longer than a casual comment should? These unexpected connections are often the universe's way of placing pieces on the board, setting up the exact circumstances your blessing needs in order to arrive. The fifth sign is a sudden return of motivation. If you've recently felt a spark reignite, a desire to start a project you'd abandoned, to reach out to someone you'd been avoiding, to finally take that first step toward a goal you'd quietly given up on, pay attention. Motivation doesn't return without reason. It returns when your spirit senses that the effort is finally about to be worth it. And the sixth sign, Capricorn, is a deep, intuitive feeling. A quiet knowing in your gut that something is about to change. You might not be able to explain it to anyone else. You might not even be able to fully explain it to yourself. But if you felt that persistent, nagging sense that things are shifting, that something is coming, trust it completely. Your intuition has never needed proof to be right. I want you to take a moment right now, wherever you're watching this, and reflect honestly. How many of these 6 signs have you experienced recently? 1, 3, all of them. Whatever your answer, understand that these signs are not scattered or meaningless. They are threads, all connected, all pointing toward the same truth. Your hidden blessing is no longer distant. It is close, closer than it has ever been. 4. What Capricorn must do before the blessing arrives. Here is the part of this message that requires the most honesty from you, Capricorn, because receiving a blessing is not passive. There is a way to prepare yourself so fully that when it arrives, you don't sabotage it, doubt it, or let fear push it away before it has the chance to take root in your life. The first thing you must do is release fear. I know this is easier said than done, especially for a sign like yours that has learned, often through hard experience, to expect disappointment before you allow yourself to expect good things. But fear and abundance cannot occupy the same space for long. If you spend all your energy bracing for the next letdown, you leave no room for the blessing to actually land. Practice loosening your grip. Practice believing even in small moments that good things are allowed to happen to you too. The second thing you must do is forgive the past. This doesn't mean forgetting what hurt you, and it doesn't mean pretending old wounds didn't matter. It means releasing the emotional weight you've been carrying from people, situations, and versions of yourself that no longer serve who you're becoming. Forgiveness isn't a gift you give to someone who wronged you. It's a gift you give yourself, freeing up the space inside you that fear and resentment have been occupying for far too long. The third thing you must do is trust your intuition, even when it doesn't come with a fully logical explanation. You have spent so much of your life relying on facts, plans, and careful analysis, and there is nothing wrong with that. But this next chapter of your life is going to require you to listen to the quieter voice inside you, too, the one that knows things before your mind can prove them. When that voice speaks, Capricorn, don't dismiss it. Follow it. The fourth thing you must do is protect your energy from negativity. As this blessing draws closer, you may notice that certain people or situations start to feel more draining than they used to. This is not a coincidence. Your spirit is naturally beginning to filter out what no longer aligns with where you're headed. Honor that instinct. You do not owe your energy to people, environments, or obligations that leave you feeling smaller instead of stronger. The fifth thing you must do is remain patient just a little longer. I know patience has already asked so much of you, but the final stretch before a blessing arrives is often the hardest, because it's the moment when doubt whispers loudest, tempting you to give up right before the breakthrough. Don't let it win. You have already carried yourself this far. You can carry yourself the rest of the way too. And the sixth thing you must do, Capricorn, is practice gratitude, genuine, heartfelt gratitude for what you already have. Even while you wait for what's coming, gratitude is not just a nice sentiment. It is a signal you send outward, a way of telling the universe that you recognize abundance even in its smallest forms. And when you honor the abundance you already have, you open yourself to receive even more of it. Release the fear. Forgive the past. Trust your intuition. Protect your energy. Stay patient. Practice gratitude. Do these things, Capricorn, and you will not just receive this blessing when it arrives. You will be fully, completely ready to hold on to it. 5. Your July 22nd divine message. Capricorn, I want you to take a slow breath before you read the words I'm about to share with you, because I believe they matter. You have spent so long being the strong one, the dependable one, the one who keeps moving forward even when no one is there to remind you how far you've already come. And in all that strength, in all that quiet endurance, there is a part of you that has been waiting, patiently, sometimes painfully, for a sign that it was all worth it. This is that sign. The blessing that is moving toward you right now may not arrive exactly the way you imagined it. It may not look like the picture you built in your mind during your hardest nights. It might be quieter than you expected, or it might be bigger than you ever dared to hope for. But however it arrives, I want you to trust that it is arriving precisely because you have earned the readiness to receive it. You are not the same person you were a year ago, or even a few months ago. You have grown in ways that were invisible to almost everyone around you. Ways that only you truly understand. Because only you lived through the quiet battles that shaped this new version of yourself. That growth was never wasted. It was the exact preparation this next chapter of your life required. Somewhere ahead of you, Capricorn, a door is about to open that will change the direction of your story. It might come through an opportunity you didn't see coming. It might come through a person who enters your life at exactly the right moment. It might come through a shift so internal, so personal, that only you will ever fully understand its significance. But whatever form it takes, know this: it is real, it is close, and it has been prepared with your name on it. Trust the process that brought you here. Trust the timing that once felt so unbearably slow. Trust that every delay, every disappointment, every quiet night where you wondered if things would ever change was leading you, step by step, toward this exact moment. The universe has not forgotten you, Capricorn. It has simply been waiting for the right time to reveal what it has been building on your behalf. And that time is now. Hold on to hope, hold on to faith, and above all, hold on to the truth that you are worthy of every good thing that is coming your way. If you believe deep in your heart that your hidden blessing is finally finding you, I want you to comment the words, "I am ready," right now, wherever you're watching this. Let it be a declaration, a statement to the universe that you are open, you are prepared, and you are ready to receive everything that has been quietly making its way toward you. If this message spoke to you today, please take a moment to like this video, subscribe if you haven't already, and turn on notifications so you never miss the guidance meant to reach you. And if you know another Capricorn, A friend, a family member, someone who has been carrying more than their fair share of quiet strength lately. Please share this with them today. They may need to hear these words just as much as you did. Capricorn, remember this. The mountain you've been climbing was never meant to break you. It was shaping you into someone capable of standing at the top. Keep going. Your blessing is closer than it has ever been, and it is already on its way.